Hello, and welcome to I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit with me, your host, Carter Doherty. I've taken quite a gap of recording episodes because I'm a piece of shit. But guess what? You, the listener, if anybody is listening, you don't even know this because I haven't even uploaded a single episode yet. So guess what? I'm banking them all up, and you're never even gonna know. I'm gonna bank so many of these so that I can be a piece of shit whenever. But yeah, I think I went 4 weeks without recording an ep, and now I'm gonna record like 4 eps this week because the boy's back on track. The boy is back on the hustle. Okay, this week was a tough one. All right, I 13 weeks no booze on Saturday. That was pretty good. I officially quit weed on New Year's, and then picked it back up for a day, just one day, one little lapse of judgment, and I only smoked a bowl, and that's fine, because then I got my shit done for the rest of the day. But I had a tough time, and I'll go through my week because what else are you gonna do? It's a solo pod. I'm just gonna rant and ramble to the cam, to the mic. This week on Tuesday, I had two fun spots. I went and I did the Soho House, which is all young hots, all glamored up, that pays so much money to be a member of a young kids country club. And I had a little hot number in there. I did such a good job. I was so proud of myself. And then I was leaving. People asked for my Instagram. I was like, this is how it goes. And then I drove up to a comedy club, did the Lincoln Lodge, had another little fun spot, and I did such a good job. I'm so freaking proud of myself. And I was so pumped on doing a good job at stand-up comedy. I just was like, this is what it's all about. Bumping from spot to spot, making people laugh, seeing friends. And I'm like, this is a fucking life. And I went out to my car, and you know what? I saw this guy. He was an old gentleman, and he had one of them blind guy sticks, and he was walking, he was hitting everything, and it was a snowy day, so he was having a tough time. And I walk over to him, and I'm like, hey, man, you need some help? Because he was carrying groceries, too. And he went, yeah, can you tell me what road we're on? And I told him we're on Milwaukee, and he was like, I got to get over to whatever. I don't remember what road. And I looked it up on my phone, and I was like, it's like it's a 7-minute walk, 2-minute drive. This guy is old as hell, doesn't miss an eyes, no eyes in his eye sockets. And I go, would you like a ride? And he said, yes, that would be very helpful. And so I'm like, all right. And I give my arm out, and he takes my arm, and I put him in my car, and I drive him to his place, and I drop him off, and he's like, thank you. And his name was Curtis, and we didn't really talk much because I'm still an awkward guy, still have so much social anxiety. But I helped him, and I went home, and I made sweet love to my roommate, who's my ex, might be my girlfriend again. I don't know what we're doing. And I was like, whew, what a fucking day on a Tuesday. That was a Tuesday. I made $80 doing stand-up comedy. I helped he's not homeless. He was just old and seemed homeless. But he lived in a place. There was a place where I dropped him off at, and he went inside with a little scanner. But I was like, that's the fucking life. It was such a good day. I was dancing in the living room. I was like, I'm the fucking man right now. I'm on top of the world. I've been working out. I've been sober. I've been meditating. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing the fucking things that you're supposed to fucking do. And then Wednesday rolls around, and I'm like, let's grind out today. And I wrote, I sat down, I buckled down, I put pen to paper, I came up with some ideas. I was pumped on it. And so then I drove, I was like, let's hit an open mic tonight. Let's work these things out. And I drive up into a neighborhood, Logan Square, and I park my car. I couldn't find street parking. And so a year prior, I had parked my car under the bridge, and I paid for the parking. And I left it overnight because I paid for 12 hours of parking, and I got hammer-schmammered and crashed at a buddy's place on his couch. And the next morning, walk over hungover, windows busted in, got a bunch of shit stolen out of my car. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go park in that spot just for tonight, And you know what? If they're letting people fucking get their cars busted in, no way do they patrol this area. Park my car there. I go in and I do the open mic. And I wrote some pretty fucked up jokes, I guess. And I kind of got bombarded off the stage. That was a doozy. It's wild to have people go, whoa, no, because I started talking about how the people on Epstein's Island weren't really pedophiles. You know, they were doing it for social status. The idea of the joke was, I was like, you know how the people on Epstein's Island, like, they fucked a kid, but they weren't pedophiles. They weren't doing it because they were sexually attracted to kids. They were doing it because it was social blackmail to allow them into the social elite. And then if they did that, they could hold positions of power in the government or in the U.S. economy and so forth. And I was like, what if there was a guy that was so, like, dedicated to climate change and trying to fix this planet, and he knew that the only way that he could get in a position of power to enact these things was to fuck one of these kids. And he's like, if I want to save the planet, I need to fuck this kid. And then they really hated that joke. So I was so bummed about that, and I walk outside and I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'm not that great at comedy. And I walk over to my car. No car. Your boy got towed. Oh, man. No car. I look at the sign. I call the number. They're like, yep, your GMC Terrain is here. It'll be $280 to get it out. And I don't know. I don't know if I've disclosed this on the pod, but I am broke. Brokey broke. And so that was all the money I had in my bank account. And then I go and I'm walking down the road to go pick up my car. It's a 20-minute walk in the snow. Not that bad. Really not that bad. But then I'm just walking past this BP, and I just hear pow, 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 pow. It was actually just 2 shots. But I look over, and there was this young kid on the ground, pool of blood around him. And, you know, the cops were on the street. They zoom right over, and they start doing first aid on him right away, and I'm just seeing this all go down. But it's like nothing I didn't see the guy shoot. I just heard the shots and saw the guy that got shot. And so I just got to keep on walking. And so I don't know. How are you supposed to react when you see a guy die? Or he had to have died. There was no way you have that much blood come out and you're shaking on the... This isn't good comedy podcast material, but it's what happened this week. I saw a guy die. And I just, I call my roommate to have somebody on the phone. She doesn't answer. And I'm like, all right. And I just walk for another... That was only 5 minutes into my walk, so I had another 15-minute walk to get my car. I get there. I'm like, yeah, here's my card. He rings it, and he's like, all right, get your car. I go, and I drive my car home. And then I get back to my apartment, and my roommate comforts me, and she's like, it's so awful. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I I try to collect my feelings, and I'm doing all right. I'm not doing the work, but it was a pretty tough day. I got my car towed and saw a guy die, and spent all my money. I was pretty bummed. And then I'm just laying on the bed, and I'm watching Instagram Reels about the fire in California, and I get to a video of Donald Trump talking about the fires, and my roommate just goes, what, so are you just going to doom scroll all night? Is that what you're going to do in response to this? And I didn't react in any way. I just went, I'm just watching the news. What do you want? What? And then she goes and she stomps away upset and starts showering. And I'm like, what did I do? This isn't fair. And I go out. I go to the couch, and this is gay as hell. This is what I'm all about now, though. And I started meditating. I was like, all right, just try to understand what exactly happened. Where did you react wrong? What did you? And I just started to focus on my breath, not have the thought loop spiral. and I'm sitting out there, and my roommate gets done with her shower. She goes, she gets dressed, and then, it's completely dark out here. It's super late, and I'm just sitting on the couch, and she goes to fill up her water, and she sees me meditating and just goes, "What are you doing?" And I get up, and I just go, how you treated me in there was just not fair. Okay, I've had a really tough night, and all I did was just watching Instagram Reels. I didn't. What did I do to you? And then got to the bottom of it is because I was playing a video of Donald Trump, and all right. We had a long relationship. In that relationship, whenever she was upset, it was usually very justified. This time was like the one time where I was like, that was so unreasonable. That was crazy. And then the next day when I brought it up again, because the next morning I was like, all right, this is the last time I'm going to bring it up. But when you have an issue with something, like if it's because I'm playing a video of Donald Trump talking about something, you have an issue with that, just let me know that it's that and that you want me to turn it off. Instead of just getting mad at me for a layered excuse. And then she hit me with, yeah, it wasn't the right response, but also earlier in the day, here's where I get. I mean, I don't know. I said something because I was watching like the mayor of LA talk about the shit, and I was reading the comments about how they lowered the fire budget by $17 million. I was like, that's so fucking stupid. And I saw another comment about how they increased their budget by like $23 million for migrant housing, and I was like, that's fucking what? And she was like, since you're saying stuff like that, I just see you starting to believe this shit. And, I do need that kind of stuff reflected on me, because that is very dumb of me to, like, react that way to reading that information and going, why are they taking money from the fires and giving it to the migrants? Because that's not what's happening. Now, if I truly don't, in my head, I'm like, I don't think the government should be providing money to those people, but I don't think that the rhetoric that I'm being fed is helpful or giving me a clear mind on those issues. And so I understand that. But the tough ass night that I had with that response, come on. That's not fair. But whatever. Maybe I shouldn't be airing this on a podcast. Who cares? And I do need to. I think I just need to get off social media. That was a goal for the year. I set an hour time limit on everything because I still need it if I'm gonna do the stand-up comedy. I do need social media, and I need to be able to like message people and stuff like that on Instagram. So I need to access it quite often. But I have an hour time limit, and I'm just gonna be mindful and conscious of doom scrolling. I'm not just gonna sit on my phone all the time and take in information that's gonna make me think a certain way. Because really, I don't. Why am I? I should have sympathy for the people that are in California, and I should be aware of the situation. But really, what does it matter about the internal politics of it all? Why it doesn't help me. It's not what I should be thinking about. I got enough shit going on in life. I don't have time to think about that kind of stuff. And then I like had a good day of like, I went and worked out. I did the things that I thought I needed to do. And then that night I didn't have any shows. So I was like, you know what? Some comedians that I like. There were 2 shows at Zany's in town. Let me go just watch those shows because it's good to show face at a club. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a young boy in comedy. You're supposed to just go hang out sometimes. And also, it was just comedians that I haven't seen before that I've heard a lot about. So I went to go hang out, and I had a great night. I was so pumped. And then I leave, like after I went and hung out at the bar, and I didn't drink. I just chucked and jived with the boys, and I met people, and I socialized, and I had a good night. And I leave, and I go back to my car. Window busted in. My 3rd broken window in a fucking year. Oh my God. 3rd busted in window in a year. And then I was like, well, What are you gonna do? I don't have I don't have any money to fucking fix this. I don't. What am I? I literally have. I depleted my savings yesterday to pay for rent this month, and I've applied to like 40 something coffee shops now. I gotta just like walk in a place, but yeah, that was tough. And I just drove home, and it's wild because like the night before was so much worse, and then I was like, all right, I'm on the recovery. I like, this is a little dip in the mental health, but guess what? You're gonna bounce back fucking stronger. And then just that was like after like having a good night, that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I just like I came home and I cried because I'm a little bitch, but that was a tough week. Okay, I did cry. I'm a man who cries. I cry a lot. I cry way more than the average man. I have cried so many more times in front of my roommate than she's cried in front of me, which is crazy. I think I'm just a little wound up, little wily guy. But I've been like trying to just take charge of my emotions, but it's hard. I've never really been one to keep my emotions in check. So I'm trying hard now, but it's at 23. It's harder to do that than when you were 6 or 7. So I wish I had probably trained all that shit on the way up, but I'm trying now. And I wallowed, and then the next day, I just chiefed weed, a few bowls, and I ate a bunch of bad food for me, and just wasted the day away until I went and did my road gig in Milwaukee, and I made $200, and it was funny because when I got my car towed, I was like, you know what, you have the gig on Friday that's gonna pay for that, and it's gonna be like it never even fucking happened. And then the window got busted in, and I taped it up with a trash bag, and on my way to Milwaukee, the trash bag just flies off the window, and it's a snowstorm right now, so I'm just getting snow all in my car. And what a bummer. Road gig in Milwaukee was fine. It was a shitty brewery thing, but $200 is $200. That ain't bad at all. And I got to complain with some friends that were on the gig with me, and that's always cathartic to just talk it out. And then that was the week. But I bounced back. I went for a run. I hit a great leg day. I've done such good things for myself since. I've been eating good, because that was Friday. Today's Sunday. I've had a good 2 days since, and I've done the things that are good for me. I've meditated. I've been reading about meditation, which is about compassion and trying to be better towards other people. And I was just trying to do that. Trying to be a good guy, because I've been a piece of shit for too long. And then I started reading. My brother got me Matthew McConaughey's book Greenlights, and I read that all night last night. And I finished the book, and then it made me realize some things. My lease in Chicago ends on April 1st, and I had talked to some people about being roommates, and I was kind of like setting up to re-up and do another year here in Chicago. And then reading that book last night really got me thinking. And today I made the decision that I am not going to sign another lease. I'm gonna do an endless summer vacation. I'm gonna trick out my car after I get that window replaced, and I'm gonna live on the road. I'm gonna go travel everywhere and just do comedy gigs as they come, but I'm not gonna pay rent. I'm just gonna have a car, pay for gas. I'm gonna drive across the country. I'm gonna go visit national parks. I'm gonna camp where I can, sleep in my back seat, couch surf. But I think that's gonna be better for me than just trying to make it work in Chicago. the book really made me realize that life isn't about slaving away and trying to hit these goals. Life's about living, which is, so it's one of those like truths that you get told as a kid and you're like, obviously. But until you really like think about it, you're like, oh yeah, it's like eating right and working out. You're like, yeah, obviously that's what you're supposed to do. But until like it like really clicks in your head, you never really understand. And I think I just have been worried about getting on the next show and just trying to like advance myself in this ladder, and it's driven me mad because it's like I don't even have a life to talk about. I haven't done anything like that cool or important yet. Why not just go live with no responsibility? Well, like at the point in time when I have no responsibility, to just go live freely, be a guy on living in on the road. I don't know. I think that's the answer. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's not the answer. Maybe, but guess what? The best part about that is that when I decide to stop doing it, I don't have to do it anymore. It's not like a lease where I'm locked in. There's no contracts, nothing. I could just be a vagabond. But I've never seen a lot of places out west. I haven't seen a lot of the East Coast. I've just kind of been a Midwest boy for so long that it'd be good. It'd be adventurous. I love the mountains. I love hiking. I'm gonna just get a hammock, try to sleep under the stars when I can, and I think it'll be good for my mental because, the past few weeks I've been doing so much better than I have in the past with my anxiety and decision making and impulse control, but I just think there's levels that I can keep reaching, and I think just being a guy on the road, seeing new things every day is going to do nothing but good things for me. And I think that there's going to be a lot of hardships, but I think dealing with those will also keep making me be a better person. I'm trying to figure it all out. I think this is the quarter life crisis that everybody goes through. If you're about to hit your mid-20s and you're just like, am I gonna just keep doing it the same way that I've done it? No. If I keep doing it like this, I'm gonna be miserable. So I think it's the right decision. I told some friends about it, and all my friends are like, that sounds cool. My roommate thinks it's a bad idea. She said she would never do that. But we're just different people. I'm more all over the place. She's more disciplined and is mentally healthy when life is routine. I get anxious and out of whack when life is routine. But I'm excited for it. I have a few months to prepare for it. I think I'm just gonna sell my furniture, use that to fund it, and I can do comedy gigs all over the place. And if I'm just if I only need to pay for my food for the week, I really don't need to make very much. And maybe I could DoorDash on the road, just go through towns, do odd jobs. I wish they still had saloons. I wish you could still just pull up to the local saloon and go, "Is there any work around here?" And then you can just be a ranch hand for a week. Miss the old times. I don't think that ever existed, actually. I think I'm making this up. But it would be nice if I could just roll into the saloon, kick open them double doors, and just go, "Howdy, partner. I'm so poor and I'm looking for work and I'm white, so you got to give me a job." But I'm excited for the open road. I'm excited for seeing new things. And I'm excited to just grow. This is gay as hell. I should just be funny on this podcast instead of doing this stuff. But guess what? This is me. I'm a spazzy guy. You're not supposed to say spaz anymore. But I'm getting it together. I'm gonna be Zen, the art of Zen. I'm going to be fully. Man, I was listening to a good Zen teaching. It made me really think about this. It was, it's just one of those dumb ones, but it was like a guy, a really respected man in his town. Everybody loved him, and then one day, this lady got pregnant. She was very young, and her parents were like, "Who did it?" And she said, "That the respected man." And the parents shunned him, and they were like, "This kid is yours to raise. Our daughter is too young." And he went, "Okay, yes, I will raise this child." And then years like 18 years go by, and then the daughter finally admits that it was not that man who did it. And the parents go, "Oh my God." And the parents go to the man and they go, we found out that it wasn't your kid, and he had done such a good job raising this child." And he just went, "Is that so?" Boom. That's it. It's just roll with the punches. Is that so? So fucking, my car gets towed. I see a guy die. My window gets busted in. And then good things happen. But you just gotta go, is that so? Just life is. You can't just go, everybody's out to get me. I'm gonna die. Everybody wants me to fail. That's just how I think in my head sometimes. And I think, I really get myself in these loops, and I just gotta go, is that so? Because it is so. It is how it is. It is what it is. I guess that's the theme of this podcast episode. Life is what it is. You just got to roll with the punches. You just got to understand that not everything is tailored to you. I was spoiled as a kid, I think. I just expected life to bend to me. And that's not what it is. You got to bend to life. And I'm going to work on bending. I'm gonna keep doing these things, and I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep working out. I'm gonna keep meditating. I'm gonna keep eating right. I'm gonna keep working on my social anxiety. I'm gonna be more compassionate towards people, because I've been doing it, and in my head I'm like, life's just gonna keep going up if I do all these things. It's just gonna keep getting better. If I'm better, life is gonna be better. But that is not true. Life is what it is, but the only thing you control is how you are. So, good lesson for today's episode. Just keep on trucking. Is that so? Well, I've rambled for almost 30 minutes. Oh, wow. And I don't know if anybody's liking these episodes. If you enjoy them, please let me know. I guess I won't get any feedback on it for a while, because I don't know how many episodes I'm going to bank up before I start putting them out. But guys, thanks so much for listening. This has been I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit with Carter Doherty. Stay tuned. Peace.